Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I am going to be doing 2 looks with the Alice in Wonderland and ColourPop collection. I did pick up the palette as well as 2 of the blushes. When I saw this being sneak peeked on Instagram, I was so excited because Alice in Wonderland definitely was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up. What about you? Did you love the movie as well? Let me know, and let me know if you picked up this collection. I'm gonna link this collection as well as everything else that's on my face in both looks in the description box. There'll also be timestamps down there. If you want to skip around, you are more than welcome to. I usually start with some swatches, some close-ups, and some info about the products, and then I get to the 2 looks. And if you do enjoy this while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Listen, packaging on this collection, 20 out of 10. 20 out of 10. Let's talk about the palette first. Love the outer carton with the cutout of the keyhole, and you can see Alice falling down. On the back, we've got all the shades as well as the Cheshire Cat. We've got some more graphics, and some of the graphics have like a holographic, iridescent, swirly whirly to them. And then the actual palette itself is a soft matte touch with glossy details, and it opens like a book, which is so fun, especially for Alice in Wonderland. And then on the inside cover, you've got more of those swirly whirly, metallic, raised graphics. I think it's really cute spring color story. It definitely goes with the theme. I like it. I'll give you more of my thoughts at the end, but let me give you a little info about the palette. Explore Wonderland with 12 curious shades in matte metallic, matte sparkle, and pearlescent glitter finishes. Each shade features our ultra pigmented blendable formula that's long wearing, applies evenly, and feels super velvety. A must-have for Alice in Wonderland fans, create endless mad looks from bold glam to ethereal eyes. It does retail for $22. I love how this looks. I think they did a wonderful job. Definitely feeling the swatches, especially in the shimmer department, several different textures that you're getting, different formulas, which I think is really fun that they're starting to do that. And then I picked up 2 of the blushes. So first I have the blush in Silence. Again, love the outer carton with the heart cut out with the Queen of Hearts on the inside. She is glossy and all of that. We've got those same details. On the inside, you have this red blush. How fun is this? It says, "Off with their heads" on top. And then it has the shade on the back. And this is described as a matte, vibrant, warm red. Both of the blushes retail for $14 each. And then the other one has the keyhole cutout on the unit carton, Alice floating in the bottle, the name "Oh Dear" on the back. Time can be funny in dreams, it says up here. And then you have this pink blush that is described as a matte, true, warm pink. And that is what I'm wearing on my face today, this one. Beautiful colors, beautiful packaging on both the blushes. I did pick these up in store at Ulta on Sunday. There are other things in the collection that I didn't pick up. There are 3 shadow sticks. There are 2 lip kits with the Luxe Gloss formula and the lipstick formula. I didn't pick up those just because I don't like the Luxe Gloss formula. Plus, I don't need any more red lipsticks. I don't really use shadow sticks. And then I was going to pick up the lip mask, which I think is so adorable. 30-second story time. When I went into Ulta, they opened at 11, the Ulta near me. I checked online prior to going in store, and it said that the collection was available in my store. I got there at 11:30. I went to find the display, and the display was out, but there were no products in it. It was just the display. And so I asked one of the associates, "I guess you haven't put out the Alice in Wonderland products yet. Are you planning on doing that? Is it, I kind of just was waiting for her to answer me, and she was so incredibly rude to me. Now listen, I've worked in the service industry for my whole life. I was a server for a long time. I've worked in retail. So I'm never rude to sales associates because I know how much it sucks when customers are rude to you. So I was very kind about it. And she gave me this dirty look and she goes, "What did you want exactly?" And I told her I wanted the palette and both the blushes. I completely forgot about the lip mask. And she went in the back. She was gone for about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes and came back and handed the products to me and went, "You are so lucky, girl." And I'm thinking, what? What'd I do? I would understand if maybe the collection wasn't supposed to be released till the next day, but it was supposed to be there that day. I mean, all that to say, I forgot to pick up the lip mask. I'm over it. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to mention. So That's all I have to say. I'm gonna let you go on and see my 2 looks. This is look number 2. So I'm gonna send you off to look number 1. I will find you back at the end to give you my first impression thoughts. All right, so I'm gonna do something a little crazy. I might regret this, but I'm actually gonna do almost like a graphic liner wing thing. I mean, this is what I'm picturing in my head. Let's see what happens. But I'm gonna take the shade Nothing's Impossible, which is a it's hard to say if it's black or like a super deep purple sequin shade, so it's a matte with sparkle. I'm gonna pick that up on a flat brush, and I'm going to try to kind of start a wing shape and kind of connect it up into my crease. I'm gonna take an even smaller, tiny little angled brush. This one is from BK Beauty. It's the BK208. I'm gonna go back in and try to just define it even more. Then I'm gonna go in with another little tiny pencil brush. This one is from What's Up Beauty. It's the R101. And with no additional product, I'm just gonna try to blend that out a little bit. Now, mine are not even, okay? Quite obviously. But you know what, with things like this, who cares if they're not even? Nobody's probably even going to notice, and if they do and they say something to you, screw them. I'm gonna take the Singe Beauty E02 brush. I'm going to go into Mad Tea Party, this really pretty, like pistachio green matte, and I'm just gonna put this in the crease. I'm gonna go in with the Singe E05, the tiny little blending brush, and I'm gonna go into Nothing's Impossible again, that sequin shade, and I'm gonna tap it off so most of the sparkles come off, and I'm just gonna kind of blend right in the wing area. I'm gonna go back in with that flat definer brush and just try to redefine those like graphic edges. Okay, I'm trying to decide. I think I want to go in with Stark Raving Mad. This really pretty like teal, or Down the Rabbit Hole. Ooh, that looks like a duochrome. I think I want to go with Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm going to put on the NYX glitter primer all over the lid. I'm going to go in with Down the Rabbit Hole, and I'm just going to use my finger just to kind of tap it all over the lid. I don't want it to be super opaque. I want it to be more, well, I'm getting opaque then. Really pretty, wow. And just for the fun of it, I kind of want to take I'm Late. It looks like a really sparkly, one of these new formulas that ColourPop is doing where it's almost like a pressed glitter, but not really. And I'm just gonna tap that over the top. Oh yeah, that's super pretty. Okay, so I went off camera and I finished up the rest of the eye look. I just added some Ardell Wispies. I put a cream liner from Patrick Ta in my waterline. I added an inner corner shade from another palette because nothing in here really is giving me inner corner shade. At least not what I'm looking for today. I actually love how this came out. And I like when I do something graphic like this to leave the lower lash line blank. I mean, you could add right up against the lash line that same Nothing's Impossible shade right up against the lash line, but I quite like it like this. I feel like I'm ready for Coachella. Who am I kidding? That is the last place I want to be. Anytime we go out to dinner, I'm just like so excited to get home and sit on the couch and watch a movie in my pajamas. So I'm good hanging here. But this eye came out great. This eye, don't look too close, okay? But this eye came out great. Okay, I want to test out the red blush. So this is in the shade Silence. Love the Queen of Hearts on the cover. As I'm sure I've already mentioned, the packaging on everything is amazing. Off with their heads, it says here. I'm scared about a red blush. It's very bright, but we're gonna do it. I have a blush brush from BK Beauty. This is the 104. I do have a code with BK Beauty. It's Rachel10 if you wanna purchase any of the brushes. It's not affiliated, but it's money off for you. I'm just gonna make sure to get this tapped off, and let's get to it. Ooh, she's pigmented. But very pretty. Very pretty. Very, very pigmented. It's a little out of my comfort zone. It's a little wild and crazy, but I will say that went on absolutely beautifully. No patchiness at all whatsoever. That's probably one of the smoother ColourPop pressed powder blushes that I personally use. That was honestly wonderful. No complaints at all whatsoever. I was about to look into this, doesn't have a mirror. Okay. So far I'm enjoying the products. I really love that, especially that topper kind of glittery shade on top that I placed I'm Late. It definitely added that little extra something. And then down the rabbit hole, which I placed all over my lid, is more of that really pretty, more traditional metallic, not much sparkle particles to it, but it definitely has a shift to it, like a blue to I want to say like a yellow gold. Yeah, a very pretty strong shift actually, blue to a yellow gold. Very beautiful, more that smooth metallic. Yeah, and that sequin shade, I mean, I used it in more of a precise way. I didn't really blend it or anything, but I had absolutely no problems with it. So far so good with the palette. Excited to continue to create looks with it. And like I said about the blush, very pigmented, but very smooth. I've not been a huge fan of these blushes in the past, but this one is seeming to work out, so love that. All right, I am going to send you off to look number 2 now. Okay, so we're going to go on to look number 2, and I'm gonna do something a little simpler today. A, because I don't have a lot of time, and B, because I think this palette really lends itself to simple looks, like 1 or 2 mattes, 1 shimmer on the lid, you're good to go. So I am gonna go into that way, which is this like really light, cool toned brown, and I'm just gonna blend this all over the crease. I have already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. So that was maybe 1 shade darker than my skin tone, so it doesn't show up a ton, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna go into Talking Flowers, this really pretty like mauve-y, purpley pink, and I'm just gonna place this a little lower in the crease. There's definitely a lot of kick up in the pan with these matte shades. I'm gonna take the NYX Glitter Primer. I'm going to place that all over the lid. I'm gonna take the shade Very Merry Unbirthday, which definitely looks like a satin, but it's definitely got like a duochrome, almost like an iridescent duochrome to it, where it's blue and pink. Very pretty. I'm gonna take that taupey shade That Way and just use it on a small brush and just smudge it up against my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna run Talking Flowers, that mauve purple matte, under the lower lash line. Okay, so I just went off camera and I put on some mascara. I also put Prance from ColourPop in the waterline. Listen, I'm keeping it very light and bright and simple. And now we're gonna put on some blush. We're gonna try the other blush that I didn't use yesterday, which is Oh Dear. And it is this beautiful pink blush. It reminds me, hold on a second.
A few moments later.
I was going to say it reminds me of Swirled from ColourPop, but I think they're a little bit different here. Yeah, they're a lot different, never mind. Swirled is a little bit deeper, and this is a little warmer. So this is a really pretty like neutral pink. I'm gonna pick it up on a Aesthetica P12. I got this in a BoxyCharm many years ago. It's very fluffy. So yesterday I tried that red blush and it was extremely pigmented. So I'm trying to get something a little fluffier today. Very pretty. Very pretty. That blended really easily, and I'm not wearing foundation today. I just spot concealed, so this went onto my bare skin really nicely. I did put the other blush on top of foundation yesterday, and it also blended very nicely, so really love this color. I think it's super pretty. It's not too cool toned where it's almost like purple. It's just that really pretty neutral pink. Love it. Okay, so let me give you some of my initial thoughts. Listen, this is not a review. I have to continue using these products to get my full thoughts, but the packaging on everything is unbelievably done. So well done. Very nostalgic to me personally, and they did a really good job. They put a lot of care and thought into it for sure. The blushes are really pretty. This pink one is that standard ColourPop blush, in my opinion. The red one I think is the standout. I found that this was extra pigmented, extra creamy, not patchy at all, really blendable, much more than I thought it was going to be. This one is good too. I think the red one is a little more special in my opinion. And then the eyeshadow palette, so far so good. I liked creating two different looks, one more dramatic and fun, one more simple. I like how it opens like a book. I think that's super fun, especially for the theme. Again, the packaging is great. And I did swatch this palette just before coming on to do this outro because I was curious about the different textures, how the shades feel, because obviously it doesn't determine how it's going to perform on your eyes, but I do think it's important to feel the shades because especially shimmer shades, you can get a feeling for somewhat what the formula is going to be. And I definitely think there's quite a few different formulas in here. You've got more satin shimmers, you've got more traditional shimmers, and then you've got two extra sparkly ones. I'm Late and Lose Something. This is this new ColourPop like pressed glitter but not pressed glitter formula where they've definitely got a chunkier feel, a grittier feel to them, but they're great as topper shades or on their own with a glitter primer or wetting the brush. Really think that that's fun that they're including different textures. I think the one on my lid, Very Merry Unbirthday, is so pretty. It is a more satin feeling, but it does have a little sparkle in there, so it gives a little extra something while still being smooth on the lid. I think it's great. Another thought I had about this palette is I feel like it's really, really similar in terms of vibes as the Aurora Struck palette. So if you don't want a giant mega palette from ColourPop, but you wanted the same vibe, this would be a good option because it's a condensed sort of version of Aurora Struck. It's giving me the similar like pastel, ethereal, galaxy vibes. A lot of the textures in here are very similar. You've got that sparkle shimmer, you've got satins, you've got a lot of the same kind of things in this as you do in the Aurora Struck, but in obviously a much smaller form. Now, the cons for me are it's very, very light with one dark sequin shade that can be used as a matte. I wish there were a few more like mid-tones so I could get more of a gradient with my looks. That's just my preference though. I mean, not everybody wants that and that's totally fine. These mattes feel very, very buttery, like feeling them, touching them, which is great for like pastel shades. When they're too dry and powdery, sometimes they don't grip onto your eyelid and then they just dust away and it's like, what happened? Where'd it go? So I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, color story wise, I just wish there were a few more midtones. I'm definitely gonna use this probably more as a companion palette with some other mattes in my collection just to be able to get that gradient that I want. But if you like very light, bright looks and maybe occasionally want to deepen up with a dark shade in the outer corner or along your lash line, you probably would really enjoy this because so far the quality has been nice and I just love the theme. I mean, that's the main reason I bought it. All right, and now I want to hear from you. Did you pick up this collection? Are you skipping on it? What are your thoughts? I would love to know. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.